Okay, this is a little demo of the DLNA using the Drobo FS as a server. First, have to make sure it's on the right. It's on the Drobo. That's the Drobo app program. The other one is just a USB connector that's connected to my TV, and the last one is my PC, which also has a server. But having it on the Drobo is so much more convenient. So it's on there. And then we want a video, and the instruction says to put it in a media partition and have the name media, but for some reason it shows up twice with this, as you see. Okay, now we go to media. Also, I don't understand why these folders are here. They don't show up when I look at the drive, either with my regular PCs. I have a few, or my Mac. That must be something that Drobo hides, and when it's attached as a drive to your computer. But for some reason, the DLNA doesn't hide it. Okay, now go to folders, and then you have I have several programs. Just as an example.
It's Christmas!
And basically it doesn't do any conversion, so your TV has to support this. So I just did some tests, and I either use those or I converted to those. For example, this one is just raw from a Canon S95 camera, unedited and unconverted. It's pretty neat, and as a neat feature, the Samsung, which I have, besides 3D, supports simulated 3D, and actually you won't be able to see it here that much, but other than the blurry, you won't be able to see it at all. But this is really pretty neat in 3D, because the water's so close and the buildings are further away. You really do get a 3D effect. The only problems is when the film ends, and that it goes back to 2D mode, and then you have to do it again when the movie starts. It's kind of a pain to see the buildings in the back are blurry, the double image and stuff like that. It doesn't. The raw video from my Sony Next 5 camera, and basically it's not supported by my TV, so I have to convert it. This is also for my Sony, but these were still pictures in Sweet Panoramic, and then I just use my video editor, Studio from Pinnacle. I just put the photos in and then use the pan and zoom of the features, because they're actually wired in 9x16. This is also one. Looks pretty neat in 3D. The non-3D version, of course, is also on my channel to take a look at. Alright, just play this a little bit. I may cut it out during the editing. The next one that's going to show up is this is 1080p or 1080i. I'm not sure. The next one's going to come up is a 780p. It comes with Windows 7. It's just a little demo tape from Microsoft. I think this is I, because when I made a Blu-ray disc of this, which is 1080p, it really looks fantastic. Of course, you're looking at this on YouTube, so you really can't appreciate it. And these are still photos, panoramic, Sweet Panoramic. I just use a video editor to make a video out of it. It's not really a video. It didn't start from video. It starts as panoramic photos. Okay, this one I talked about. The horses go blurry when they switch. See right there? You get a lot of artifacts. It doesn't do that when I play it on the computer, so obviously the processor in my TV is not quick enough to to process all the data, because it's the same file. So something with that. But it's a nice feature having this on the Drobo, because I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to boot my computer up. It's just, if the Drobo's not on, you just turn it on and it's fine. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to show you a little bit how to set this up. I really am surprised how good this was, from being free software that Drobo didn't develop. They just took it off the internet and gave it to you. The Drobo desktop. This is the newer one. It just came out a couple weeks ago. I'm sure you all seen the other ones. Right now, it looks like it's looking. I should have found it. Oh, there! I had it on the wrong thing. Okay. So you also see I have two 1 terabytes drive on there, which makes it a little bit less than 1 terabyte because of redundancy, and plus I'm using for the DLNA and some other stuff on other partitions. So it's a little bit less, so I'm used up almost half of it already. But that is mainly because I backed up my over 62,000 photos, which is the main reason why I got the Drobo, because I've been backing it up on a single USB drive. It takes forever, and plus it's only a single drive, and now I have redundancy. And when I hooked my PC, it's a little slow on the internet, but when I hook it up to the my gigabyte on the I hook the network, instead of going Wi-Fi, hook up to the gigabyte network on my computer, it's a lot faster on large files. Small files are still pretty slow for their size, but for big files it's pretty fast. Like this is the new Drobo desktop. It's only came out a few weeks ago. I did this originally with the old one, which you all have probably seen on other YouTube videos. It's the same thing, just the UI is a little bit different. But basically, I gotta remember how to do this again. Settings, admin. Yeah, okay, you go to settings, admin, and basically all you have to do is enable Drobo apps. Okay, and the procedure is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just click on here, takes you to the web page, and pretty much walks you through it. Basically, what you have to do is when you set that, you may have to reboot. I'm not too sure. I don't remember, but it will tell you step by step. But basically, it gives you. Normally, you have the Z drive. It maps the public drive to Z. It'll map. It'll give a Drobo app drive. Okay. Now, all you have to do in there is download this, onto your computer. Just drop it in that folder. You don't have the in that drive, that network attached drive. You won't have all those folders the first time you do it, and then just reboot, and then you have the Apache web server, and then you do the same thing with the admin reboot, and then you can do it with this one if you want to. But I believe the way the instructions tell you to do is to basically, and we start a new one here. Is basically call your the web server on the Drobo. That's the default. If you want to go to Drobo apps, you can type in the whole name, or you can just come to the default screen. You do that. I changed the password already, and then basically you can install apps, and then you pretty much follow instructions. These are additional apps you can install. Again, these are all like free, non-developed by Drobo Robotics. It's developed by geeks, I guess, or whatever you want to call them. I already installed the one for the DLNA, so basically I can do configurations, and you see the two apps I have besides the administrator app. And what you want to do when you want to add new videos to it, all you do is the instructions tell you to create a third drive called media, and you notice I don't have a media name in there. And then just drop the whatever you want, the video, photos, or music, into here. So I dropped the music into here, and then what you do is when you run when the first time you run it, or when you run the configuration, when you add a new file, what you have to do is just what is it, options, just rebuild the database. And then what it does is basically it copies the one from here onto the folder of the DLNA under the media one. And notice here it has media. I have no idea why it does that. It puts in a couple other folders, but it doesn't put all those dot folders, which is apparently hidden. Well, which are hidden, and the Drobo FS hides it from Windows and on my MacBook, but it doesn't hide the DLNA. Probably that program could be improved not to do that, and then that's it. And again, like I said, you have to every time you add a new one, you have to tell it to redo its database. And basically, so the files, the videos or the big photos, whatever, in two places. So the one in the media, you could delete them, but then you add more. I mean, rebuild the database. I'm not too sure if those are deleted or not, so I just leave them on there because right now I have plenty of spaces. Here you can see the files are not here. And that's it. I did look up the DLNA server they're using. They give you, well, not give you. They tell you it's not. They don't. It's not their property. They don't support it, but it works. So and they make it easy for you to download. I did do a Google on that. I found the website. They're actually the later versions. Maybe they are better. Maybe they get rid of the dot. I didn't have time to experiment. The only problems I had occasionally that the web server or something, when I was fooling around a little bit, stopped working, and basically what I had to do was, I don't know, this really was my resolve, but it was disenable it, reboot, re-enable it, reboot, and everything came back to normal. By rebooting, I mean rebooting the Drobo. One thing, I have to cancel this. One thing here, the instructions say reboot, but the thing says restart. All right, so I guess they tried to make this boot that's maybe a little more geeky, but not really. Everybody knows what reboot is, but here it says restart. And I guess they wanted to make this for the complete novice, but I think even the complete novice knows what a reboot is. All right, have fun. I'm pretty happy with it, especially for the redundant file backup and the other little features it has.